welcome to Career View Mirror. I'm your host, Joyel Crawford, and today I have a very, very special guest with me, Debora Balardini. And she is not only a fellow actress, no, she is not an actress. She is a director, she is a performer, she is an activist, she is a mother, you do it all. You do it all. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad that you're here because I just was reading all of the things about you and your career, and I have just got to know all about how you got started, how you got involved in all of this. Because a lot of people, you know, who watch the show, or at least my parents in normal convention were like, acting, performing, that's not a real, you can't get paid to have fun. So I would, you know, as an amateur and somewhat professional performer, I'd love to dig deep into finding out more about you.
Sure.
So let's go straight from the start. You have a colorful background. You've done a whole bunch of different things. How would you specifically describe your careers?
Well, I'm an artist.
An artist. There it is.
I'm an artist. To break it down a little bit more, you know, performing, you know, a performer, director, coach, entrepreneur. That's a very big point for me as well. But along those lines, that's what I do.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Now, how did you get started in being an artist, a working artist?
A working artist, yes. Well, when I found out that I was an artist when I was 6, but being a working artist, basically when I was 12, 13, because I started as a dancer. I was a ballet dancer for many, many years. Went to college and, you know, all that. As a theater performer, being actually on the stage as an actress, I was about 14 when I started, and I started, you know, straight as a professional. In Brazil, we do things different. I'm from Brazil, so we do a little bit different. But 14 years old, that's when
I mean, did you audition to be in a troupe or anything like that, or did you just walk up and be like, "Hi, everybody,
I'll tell you a little story. I was already dancing, already teaching, actually.
At 14?
At 14, yes. I was already teaching at that point, you know. And I was passing by the biggest theater in my town in the south of Brazil. And I see a huge line, which was not normal at that time. And they were like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Well, this is an audition for the Three Penny Opera." And I was like, "Oh, great." I called work and I said, "I'm sorry, I'm not teaching today. I'm actually getting into this line."
Wow.
And actually the producer saw me on the line and goes like, "Oh, come over here," because I had the look. And then they put me in a room. I auditioned for the first time in my life, and I got in.
That is amazing.
It was really by chance.
So, I mean, but to have enough confidence to be like, "Hi, work, I'm leaving, I'm going to audition for this opportunity."
I'm a very intuitive person. Like when I feel that that's the moment and that's the way I wanted to do, I go and I do it.
Do you think that that's the kind of the secret to the sauce of all of your career success?
Well, you have to be very in tune, you know. Sometimes you make a mistake, but as you have to have responsibility, take responsibility if something doesn't go the way you want.
Right.
That's the secret.
That is the secret.
Yes.
It's a huge thing, and I talk to my clients about this, about character building. It's not only, you know, when you have the successes, but how you respond and rebound from failures, right?
Exactly.
Because being an actress and being a performer, you also get the denials, the no's.
Oh,
right?
the rejections. Yes.
So did you have to do any training? I mean, you said you were a dancer. You also said you were doing acting. Did you go to any type of training or school
definitely.
to
Yes.
help with
yes,
this?
Yes. I was trained as a dancer first, of course. But then in my town, like in the south of Brazil, my training in theater, in acting, was actually inside the theater more than actually a school.
Oh, wow.
I never made a choice of going to a school for theater. I made that choice when I came to New York.
Oh,
Yeah, after traveling, you know, the decision of being an actress was always there.
Right.
But I never found a place where I wanted to do. Like a college or a program or anything like that.
Like really dig in until you got to.
Exactly.
When did you come to America?
I came in 1995, January 1st. I would never forget. Because
Day.
I didn't come from Brazil. I came from Japan at that time.
Oh my goodness! So you were in Japan.
I was in Japan.
And then you came to
I was
America.
a performer in Japan, and then I came to New York.
So
and
your
that's when I found.
passport is not like, it's probably all
It's
the pages
messy.
are full. all the pages are full.
It's messy.
So you were traveling and
Yes,
acting and performing,
yes.
and then
And then
decided-
when I got to New York, I was like, now I want a program. I want to see how they do theater here because it's very different from Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah. So I found a program at William Asper, and I loved it. I did my 2-year program in there. As a matter of fact, I did an extra year because I couldn't speak English. So I wanted to prepare myself even more.
Wow.
So it was really intense for 3 years, getting ready, and still dancing. You know, dancing became a little bit more into the background,
Okay.
and as a support for body training, basically. But then theater became like
That was the thing.
Yes, always the thing.
So you did the theater, you came here, you learned English. How did you transition from acting and performing into the directing and space ownership, and how did all of that come about?
Well, everything happens organically and intuitively, I would say. The directing thing is fairly new for me. I say new because I've been more than 30 years in this career. So directing is more like a 10-year sort of, the last 10 years or 13 years. And I always denied it. I was like, oh my God, really? Let me do more acting first. But I always get funneled into, oh my God, I'm in love with this actor and I'm in love with this actress and her project is so amazing. I see it this way, and then they get excited, and then the last thing that we see, we are inside of the studio already rehearsing and already thinking about production and the budget and all that. So it happens.
So they say, I've been reading an article that says about, saying to someone, don't follow your passion is horrible career advice. What would you say to that?
Don't follow your passion is a horrible career advice?
Yeah, they said that. I mean, they're they
Well,
are saying that.
I wouldn't say passion. I don't go for passion. I go for obsession.
Ah, okay.
That's one of the things that I always say to my actors if I'm directing. I'm like, what is your obsession? If you're not obsessed about something, you don't get motivated.
That's true.
And I think that as artists, as you know this, is when you have something that is bubbling inside of you and you say, I'm obsessed about this. I am like, I need to get this out of me.
Right.
That's when things happen organically and they are meant to happen.
Right.
It's very funny because when I get a role, usually the roles that I get, sometimes I take 2 years, to get a new role that I like because I need to get that out of me.
Right.
It's pretty much like a painting.
Yeah, it truly is the artistic piece, of seeing a blank canvas and wanting to create this thing.
Exactly.
So what is that obsession bubbling? And to my viewers, we're not talking unhealthy obsession. We're not boiling bunnies.
Yes, no.
Buckets and everything else.
It's
we're
healthy.
Healthy.
Very
obsession.
healthy. Yes.
So yeah, like just having that power and that energy, and then tapping into that and creating.
Yes.
Whether it be a show or a piece.
It's very important you say that it's healthy. Because a passion can also be unhealthy.
Well, yeah, you hear all
So
these.
maybe that's the tweaking part.
Yeah, I mean, just hearing all these stories about struggling actors and actresses that you need to starve for your art.
No. I don't think so. I think that if you're struggling, you're struggling in a sense of like if it's painful for you, don't do it. If you're not going to enjoy the path. Do we struggle? Yes, we struggle financially. Yes, we struggle in so many different ways. But if it's what you love, you have to feel some kind of pleasure.
Right. It can't hurt.
Love
can't hurt.
Love
right?
can hurt. Yes.
Right. So
Passion cannot
hurt. So that's a really good point to make because I think a lot of people, especially our younger generation, with being an Instagram influencer and things just kind of popping into someone's lap, it takes hard work and it takes passion and dedication, but it shouldn't hurt. It should not. You should not be hurting yourself.
Of course, you're always going to have to sacrifice something and make your choices. It's all about choosing.
Well, speaking of choosing, we are going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about who Debora is and how you've made this choice and how it's impacted your life.
Okay.
And get a little bit more personal.
Okay.
All right. Thank
All right.
you.
Add us on social media to watch bloopers, behind the scenes footage, previews, and more.
Choosing Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away, 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no obligation Medicare benefits consultation, 856-226-4800.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it. Hippity hop.
Casinos by the ocean.
Hippity hop.
Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches. Solid rock. And everything in between.
Look in the window.
Now that's New Jersey.
Burlington County College.
Is now Rowan College of Burlington County.
Still the same great faculty.
At a community college ranked top 50 in the nation.
Basically, we earn more and pay less.
RCBC students are accepted at Rowan University after graduation.
And get a bachelor's degree for around $30,000.
Online and Mount Laurel students get a 15% Rowan University tuition discount.
And have many scholarship opportunities.
So you earn more and pay even less.
Rowan College of Burlington County.
Your path to success.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to strengthen our service members? What does it take to let them know that we stand behind them, wherever they are? What does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? And what does it take to prepare them for their future when their service to the nation is complete? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Share a message today at force.uso.org.
I want to be a contender. I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house. How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want
a home. I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes together.
Welcome back to Career View Mirror. I'm with Debora Balardini, and before we went on break, we were talking about her whole background of becoming a working artist and director, and wanted to kind of keep taking that deep dive into this career. And I had this burning question about what's one myth about being an artist that you wish you could dispel?
The myth that artists are not business people.
Artists are not business people. Tell me more about that.
It's, we usually think, at least for me, when I started, is like, oh, I'm going to create, all I'm going to do is dance, all I'm going to do. Well, you hit the wall when you realize that you don't have a publicist, or you don't have somebody to take care of your finances, and you still have to rent an apartment, and you still have to cook for yourself, and you still have to budget your supermarket groceries. So you get hit with life, you know, thinking that you're going to have at least 8 hours a day to think
create.
and create. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing if you have the resources.
Right.
But even if you have the resources, I think that we have to think that your career is a business.
It is.
You have to be creative with everything. You have to be creative about how you cook, your budget, how much you're going to spend, your marketing, everything.
Even
right?
who you speak with and who you associate with.
Yes.
Because that's part of your brand. You know, we
Exactly.
talk about building your personal brand with some of my clients a lot because they kind of think, well, because I'm this person or this character on the stage that I don't really need to follow that or carry that out. You're your own business.
Yeah, autonomy.
Yeah.
You have to have autonomy. You
So,
have to have autonomy for, you know, and even if you say like, well, I don't know about finances, and I don't know, you know, you're gonna open your own business. Let's say you're an entrepreneur. Like I got into being an entrepreneur. Like, oh my God, I don't know anything about finances. I don't know anything about this, about that. Well, make a plan to hire somebody to help you.
Ask for help.
Ask for help and say, well, I don't know how to do a budget. How do we do it? And that goes across the board for artists, you know. Even though, you know, some colleges, they do give you some kind of background in how to do it and all that, I don't think it's enough.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough.
It's not granular enough. It doesn't get to the meat and potatoes of the everyday, day-to-day things that you're going to experience in the hustle of making your business work, which is you. As an artist, as a performer, you are your business.
Yeah, and this is something.
LLC,
yes,
right?
me LLC. I love that. But this is something I learned here. You know, because now in Brazil, of course, we have different resources, and of course, there's the internet, and we are all. The whole world is learning how to, you know, to take care of themselves, I hope. But I learned here, you know, how to market and how to say, oh, this is how I should go about. I don't know about this. Let me get a mentor.
Right.
You know. So I think that that's one of the things that we need to think about it when you get out of college.
I think that's a really big tip. And I also want to know a little bit more about networking. What's your thought on networking with building your business of you, me LLC?
Me LLC, and I'll take a little bit more, a little bit from what we talked. I think we were talking off camera about intuition.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Intuition, being present, and all that. And I think that the networking goes that, you know, along those lines. You know, it's not every event that you have to attend. It's not everybody that you have to put your trust in. But presence is something very important. You know, if I want a certain thing for my career and that person is going to be there, and I have the chance of coming and saying, hi, my name is Debora. I love your work, or I would love to get some coffee. Be direct, you know.
Yes.
Everybody knows when a network event, everybody knows that you're there to meet somebody, and you know somebody wants something from that person, or even to know that person, you know, to meet somebody, to have yourself surrounded by people that really can bring you something good personally or career-wise.
Absolutely.
So that's the networking for me.
Absolutely. It's that relationship building.
Yeah.
It's not I take this away
Exactly.
and run away from, you know,
Exactly.
things.
Exactly.
It's that, and that really probably helped build a great foundation.
Yes.
Because then when you really needed something like asking for some donations or some some
or even
money
even for
space,
advice, or even for advice.
Absolutely.
You pick up the phone and you say, "Hey, I know you're not, I know you know about this. How do I go about it?" So the relationship on the networks, events, and stuff like that are very important.
So key.
Very, very important.
Thanks, Debora.
Yes.
So I want to know if are there any tips about anybody who wants to get into this type of career path? You know, like tests or I mean, we talked about schooling and training and anything of that nature. Are there any other tips for kind of making you make it happen?
Well, before you get to college, or before you get to any training, just get some resilience.
Tell me a little bit more about that. How do you build your resilience?
Well, I meditate a lot, and I love yoga. You have to center yourself most of the time. always give yourself 5 minutes before giving an answer to anybody. Always. That's like,
Except for here.
it's a rule. Except for here, of course. But you know, we live in a world of such a pressure all the time. You know, with clients, with contracts, with, you know, the audition. If you don't tell them right now, you're going to lose the role. No, what is meant to be yours is going to be yours. Take your 5 minutes, you know, and build some resilience, build some confidence into what you're building.
Right.
Right. In terms of like training, I am a big believer that you don't necessarily have to go to college or to get, you know, a more formal education.
Right.
I think it is important if you have the opportunity, take it. Do it. Right? But some people don't have that opportunity. They have to work, they have to work 24/7. And what do you do?
Right.
So to me, it's very important that you have at least a mentor, that you have somebody that you can call, that you can get together and help, that knows more than you do.
Right. Can't be your girlfriend.
No, your girlfriend will be
cousin
there
Ray
to
Ray.
hold your hand when
Yes.
you're crying.
Right.
But it's somebody that knows a little more, you know, because you can always learn a little bit more. You can always take a step further. You can always, I was always very autonomous. I was always very much like a, you know, I self-taught, you know, English, for example.
Right.
You know, I would go around on the streets and just talk. And ask people questions.
There's your school.
You know, but I also have a very, it's very easy for me to learn languages, you know, like I speak 4, so it's like, okay, let's
what's
just.
one more?
Yeah. But I love it. You have to love it, of course. But if you love what you do, you go and you look for information.
Right.
You know, there's always Google. Hello.
I mean, and that's
our
free.
best friend nowadays.
Right, absolutely. You can Google it. There's YouTube. There's tons of different things out there.
But it's always so good to have somebody, some human,
Yes,
you know,
some
connection.
And I think that's a really big key thing that you said there about having that human connection, because in this day and age of digital everything, you know, we're on our devices all the time, doing our digital prayer. And we never really are paying attention, and that effective communication, that one-on-one is so key.
Super important.
In building your business and building your business of you, as well as, you know, the physical structures that you're doing, right? So have you experienced any challenges being an artist and an entrepreneur, especially as a woman and a woman of color?
As a woman, oh my God, as an immigrant. The funny beat is that I was always cast as Maria the Maid. Nothing against Maria the Maid, I love them. But it was, you know,
sassy black nurse or whatever. Yes, yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, I can play French girl, you know, artist. How about that role?
Yeah.
So it was always like something about my accent or something about my looks. You don't look Latina enough, but oh my God, you're so Latina. But then you're not sexy enough, but oh my God, you're so sexy. I'm like, well, who am I to you, you know?
Right.
And it's not until you get some autonomy and you look at yourself and say, I'm going to define myself the way I want to define myself, that you're able to move a little bit forward. So yeah, there were moments of like, okay, here it comes, the same script with the same idea.
Yeah.
How about I do something I want to do?
Right, and knock their socks off.
And then, you know,
there it is.
You just move forward to do what you want to do. I always say to all my artists, like people that take classes with me or our, you know, the community of artists, I'm like, yes, go to the audition, do the traditional way, do what you need to do, but always have a project on your own.
Yes.
Always write your own thing, or get somebody to write for you if you're not a writer, but always have your idea in your pocket. Always have a show ready to go when you didn't get that part.
You create your own reality. So that really helps.
I'm not going to let any director define if I have a job or not.
No, absolutely. Me LLC,
Right?
That's it. That's your own business.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's you are the boss of all of that. They may be clients, you know, that hire you, right, as an entrepreneur, but you are the CEO of your life. So I think that's a really great message. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I think I have time for 2 more questions, but I wanted to know how you take breaks. You talked about yoga and how you get centered. Are there any other things that you do to balance yourself?
Well, to me, meditation is very important to me. Like those first, you know, moments before I get up and before I go to bed are very, very important to me. Like that ritual. It puts me in a different set of mind. I do yoga at least 3 times a week.
Wow.
That is something, I used to do much more than that, but having 2 businesses is just impossible.
Right.
Not impossible, but it's hard to fit in.
It's challenging, right?
It's challenging to fit in. But I'm trying to do a little bit more because it is so amazing how all the breathing and everything, especially for my voice. I feel the change when I'm doing yoga and doing breathing exercises, and I go to a voice lesson or anything like that. The teacher goes, like, "Oh my God, your voice is like," and I'm like,
Yeah,
and that's meditation.
That is my work, my breath work. Yes. Absolutely.
So yeah, you have to have some kind of ritual. It doesn't have necessarily to be yoga, but you have to have some kind of ritual.
Absolutely. Now, one last question. What would you have told your younger self about life now? Like, what would you wished you had been able to know back in the day?
Those 5 minutes.
Take those 5 minutes.
Take those 5 minutes. You get a phone call. We need you, blah, 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 to do this and that. Oh, sure. You caught me in a not so good time. Can I give you a call in 5 minutes? I'm just finishing up something.
There it is.
You're not lying.
No.
You're finishing up your thoughts. You're finishing up something in your head.
And you're owning it.
And you're owning it.
That is beautiful.
I wish because through life and through your career, you're always going to be improvising.
Yep.
No matter how much plan you have, you're going to be improvising all the time. And you're going to be, you have to make decisions.
Yep.
So even in improvisation, you're going to have this kind of 5 minutes, 5 seconds, 30 seconds. Oh, how can I make a decision, based on that? To give yourself some time to breathe.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
We're going to definitely have to have you back so that we can dig in more. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for watching, and catch us every Monday at 1:30 p.m. for Career View Mirror. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.